Hi, it's Allsopp here from tpatennis.com. Today I'm going to analyze this video that I took at the final of the Men's Open in Mountain View last weekend. Now here we have Ryan in grey, and here we have Nitsan in the green, and I coached this kid over here. So Ryan, a little bit more experienced, but both players, fantastic doubles players, and we're going to see how they move as this point unfolds. Now the first thing is that Ryan's partner is serving, and what he's going to do here is he's going to start quite far back, and as the serve gets hit and as the return is about to hit the ball, he's going to be moving forwards towards them. Now what that does, and I'll let this play as I talk, what this does is it creates a lot of movement. So the return here is constantly seeing the volume moving, and Ryan is able to cut down the angle. So if he goes to poach on a shot, he's going to move diagonally. He's going to cut down the angles like a goalkeeper coming out of their goal to narrow the angles down a little bit. But also, because he's constantly moving, any poach, any movement towards the center of the court is going to be less noticeable than if he was just to stand still, and then if he fancied poaching, he just went, and that bit of movement becomes really noticeable because you go from standing still to moving, whereas Ryan's constantly moving here. Now, as we play it through, he gets a little bit caught because the ball goes behind him. He sticks two hands on the racket, and the ball goes back to the returner. Now, in this situation, actually, let's go back a step. Let's go back. As this serve gets hit, Nitsan here has got his eyes focused on Ryan. He's defending just in case his partner intentionally or accidentally goes up the line. Now, I don't think that Nitsan really should be taking an aggressive forward split step here. So if you watch Nitsan here, he's going to take an aggressive forward split step. I don't really think that's necessary because you're on a defensive position, especially on a first serve when your partner's returning the first serve. His attention is in the right place. He's looking right at Ryan. Again, not sure he should be jumping towards him. But anyway, the ball gets hit back towards the returner. Nitsan now is going to keep his attention on Ryan. He should be looking at him pretty much the whole time. He has no reason to look at the server. He should be keeping his eyes on Ryan, and Ryan's going to be looking to go get this volley. Now as the ball goes past Ryan and goes back to his partner towards the server, everyone's going to move in the direction that the ball just went. So the ball's got hit cross court. Everyone's going to move diagonally in the same direction that ball just got hit. And what that's going to do is it's going to mean that Ryan constantly keeps looking at Nitsan, and Nitsan should be looking to volley here. So an aggressive defensive position because he's quite close. Sometimes you might want to get back here, but as an aggressive player, probably not overly scared that, like if this was Mike Bryan up here, Ryan might be a little back thinking, oh, one of these Bryan brothers is going to come and get a volley. Here, maybe he's not too worried about Nitsan because he's not that active. So he's tuck up a position covering the middle of the court, but he's also quite close to the net. And as we see Nitsan come forwards here, slam on the brakes, I think is a little bit too far towards the alley. But we're going to talk about some little details that sort of change what we sort of think about whether these positions are wrong or right, because there's a lot of extra stuff that we can talk about, which is making the players make certain decisions. He has slammed the brakes on, so you can see he's leaning back here a little bit as he's come forwards, so he's not really going to be able to go get this volley. So again, I don't like how he's slammed the brakes on. He's leaning back, he's close to the alley. I don't think Nitsan's in a good position to pick off any balls here. Anyway, Ryan's in a great defensive position, but he's very close to the middle of the court. As the ball gets hit back cross court, now everyone has to shuffle back the other way in exactly the same direction that the ball got hit. So again, Nitsan's watching Ryan. Ryan's trying to volley or look for the volley. Doesn't happen. And ball gets hit back cross court. Again, I think Nitsan's slammed the brakes on. He's sort of jumped those feet forwards. He's leaning back a little bit too much. I don't think he can really be on the front foot there and look to dive diagonally forwards and go get a volley. But Ryan's covering just in case his partner goes up the line. Now, as this ball goes back, Nitsan's a little bit slow. I'm pointing out a lot of things that Nitsan's doing wrong, but again, as this ball goes cross court, these are all very small details and it's happening very fast. It's a little bit slow to get his attention back on Ryan. Again, let's just go back a step here. So this ball now gets hit past Nitsan, who maybe could have got that if he was on the front foot. And Nitsan's still looking over here. He needs to switch his attention to Ryan quickly. And I think is a little bit slow moving back where the ball just came from. But he ends up doing it now, which is fine. He's kind of got into the right place eventually. And his partner hits a fantastic shot up the line. Now let's talk about some extra things here that maybe change the decisions that these players are making. One thing is that the server and the returner are having a cross-court rally, and it really favors the returner. This is not to take anything away from the server, but I know the two players, and the person that we can't see but who's returning is going to win that cross-court battle a little bit more often. Has a great forehand. So let's run this back a little bit here, and what we'll see is also, we don't know the score, so they might be 30 love up or 40-15 up, or they might be love 30 down. So this kind of changes how aggressive you're going to be at the net. But what I want to show you here is as this ball goes cross-court past Ryan, let's speed it up a little bit. Okay, so it's gone cross-court here. Ryan's going to be aware that his partner doesn't necessarily want to get into a really long rally across court. It doesn't really favor them. So there's a good chance that his partner will pop the ball up the line to Nitsan, and Ryan is aware of this and he's covering the middle of the court in a defensive position, allowing his partner the option to go up the line. And if he does it well, he's got his back and he's covering the middle of the court. So I think that's why Ryan is in such an aggressive position here, right near the middle of the court, because he's thinking that his partner, there's a good chance that he's going to fire it up the line to Nitsan. And Nitsan, to be fair to him, is covering the line and playing sort of a defensive, aggressive position. Like, he's not being really aggressive because he's probably aware that this dude doesn't want to get into a cross-court rally with his partner and a ball might get hit to Nitsan. He's aware of that. So rather than looking to poach, he's kind of just bracing his position and making sure he can handle a power shot that comes his way. So I'm just pointing out these little things because that does change. You know, it's easy to say, oh, he's doing this wrong or he's doing this wrong. But these guys are making these decisions based on these other little factors that I'm pointing out. I think I've pretty much covered everything there. I'm just going to let this run through in regular speed. Let's run it back. And again, just see how quick these guys are to move, to anticipate what shot might come next by their partner and make sure they're in the right place, just in case that ball does get hit up the line. And no, that's not fast forward. That is how fast everything goes. So it's easy for me to analyze this in super slow motion, but when these guys are thinking real fast, and I think overall this is great positioning, and everyone should be looking to move diagonal like this to cover all the holes just in case your partner pops one up the line. And this ball up the line here, that's just something that happens. If you're an aggressive net player, you want to make sure that anything weak down the middle of the court you've got, and if your opponent occasionally beats you up the line, hits a great shot into the alley, no big deal. I know at a lower level, your 3-0s, your 3-5s, even your 4-0s, it's like you get passed up line and your partner's like, yo, watch your line. But it doesn't happen at this level. There's no way Ryan's partner's going to be complaining that ball hit up the line because his partner knows how valuable Ryan's movement is to cover anything that's remotely weak down the center. I hope you like this video. I hope you found it interesting. If you want to send me any of your videos, whether it's some of your technique, any of your strokes, or if it's some of your doubles or singles match play, you can send that via tpatennis.com. And subscribe to my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.